Right, so I ran into a tiny little snag yesterday trying to fit the camera, which was my daughter's car. That just cost an absolute fortune to insure for a first time driver. So trying to fit this yesterday, and I ended up unfortunately breaking this cover. Removed the light because it's required to be powered off the loom, so essentially we've got the same thing here in the back of the light. I know you can't really figure out what cable is the reverse light, so I did a bit of research and apparently it's the purple one. So I'll pop the light cluster off again today. I did run the wire last night, as you can see up here, all the way along this top beam, and it's just long enough. However, this is incredibly sharp all the way down, so I bought some conduit from Screwfix, 13 quid for 10 metres, 12mm wide. So I'm going to run some conduit along there. I'm going to wire the reverse camera, but I'm also going to double that up. Ooh, watch the tools. I'm also going to double that up because I'm going to run the 12-volt wire through there eventually for all the roof lights that I will put in. And then in order to tidy up this, I started last night trying to take the headliner off and everything like that, because I want to insulate and sound deaden in here, because it's still quite bad. So after a lot of trial and error, I've removed all some visors and a bit of the trim, and I actually found a really good video on YouTube on how to strip all of this out. If I can remember the link, I'll post it in the comments section or description section below. But to help me with all of that sound deadening and everything, I'm going to remove these seats. I've got replacement ones anyway, with the middle seat that folds down. It's got a table. These eventually will come back and sit in and around this C-pillar area, because we're going to have a window in there when it's warm enough for me to glue it on. Potentially next weekend we're cutting windows in. It's meant to be 8 or 9 degrees. I need 5 degrees for the sealant to set. So I'll have a window there, that double bench there. I'm going to swivel that front seat, although there's a question mark over whether or not the handbrake needs to be moved. I have seen like a pivoting bracket, which I can buy, but I don't really want to spend 90 quid on a pivoting bracket. But the intent is that seat will sit here. I'm going to fit a seat belt, because the middle seat already has one, so I'll have 2 seated or seat belted seats in the rear. I'll swivel that and that will become our dinette area. So today's plan is strip out all of this seating area to allow me access to that, run some conduit along here and get the reverse camera wired in. So with this reverse wire, if I run it along and follow the wiring that's already in, I'm going to lose about 2 foot of cable, and like I say, it's really tight down the end there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a hole out here and under here, so I can run it straight into the conduit and run it all along there. And then this pre-existing wiring loom, I'm just going to figure out where it goes to, because the idea is we're eventually going to clad along here, and that cable is just a bit of a pain in where it is. So if I can reroute it again, popping it out under here and into this pillar, and then run it back up this way, that will be better. I just need to figure out where it goes to and what it powers. Right, so excuse the dogs. This is the seating that we bought to replace the front. Yes, it's different, but I'm eventually going to get it all reupholstered anyway. but this has on the back this plate area, so I'll just drop it down so you can see. So yeah, like that. So passenger will have a nice, relatively comfortable seat. And this, we thought about having like a single seat for the passenger and a single seat for the driver and having a walkway, but the reality is we're not overly bothered, and in the future if we need it we'll just swap it out, it's absolutely fine. Morphin, come on, come out of the way mate. So this table area slides, gives you I guess a couple of extra inches over the driver, but when we're travelling, me and my wife, that will give us much needed extra space. And the other bonus about this is, if I just fold it back up, this one has got all the plastic trim and has some ability to do under storage. So from the back of the van we'll have drawers, so we can come into there and have somewhere we can store extra items. So yeah, that's going to be the front one. We've got our windows ready. Tiny bit of sound deadening left over, which I hope will do the remaining floor and the roof. Probably going to need another roll of that in order to do the cab area. And then this here, as you can probably tell, I've just dropped it so all the bits are falling out. That is the Fiamma warning rail for the Vauxhall Movano. I'm going to fit a F80S 370 awning, which I've ordered. I got that from Grasshopper Leisure for just a smidge under 800 quid. So £800 plus the brackets at £100, 900 quid to get all the awning in. Just 3 more to go. Okay, seat removed, tools removed from here. The 2 front bolts are done so I can access the bottom ones, but my god, you can tell this was a builder's van. The amount of mud, all of that. All of that mud just absorbs moisture. It's just sat there, potentially causing rust. Oh look, it's a bit more mould to the sandwich that I found a couple of weeks ago. Right, got the liner out. It was absolutely soaking underneath. All the foam has absorbed loads of water, so that's inside now for the next couple of days to dry off. Yeah, now it's just a case of cleaning all the dirt out, and then we're going to put a bit of sound deadening on here. I've got some insulation coming actually, so rather than sound deadening I might just insulate it, and then obviously the insulation on the top here. So the next part of today, strip out the covers on the B pillars, the headliner, and get it out, so all of this is then free to clean and insulate and sound deaden. Right, the light is beginning to fade. That was a good 2 to 3 hours worth of work. Now finally I've got access to the roof. I had to remove that centre bit that came across here. And the floor, it's not good, but it allows me now to sound deaden all that and insulate all the way along here, down into these pillars, down into the top of the seatbelt area. next weekend, because I only get to work on these other weekends. Door cards are coming off, so we'll give that a clean, sound deaden, and hopefully during this week we will have the 15mm closed foam cell foil lined insulation, and I'm going to put above the cab and across the flooring. So yeah, that is an entire afternoon. My van is mega messy. I didn't get to do the conduit like I thought I would, and the wiring, but we made a good crack on getting this insulated above the cab and sound deadened. So tune in next week and we will be hopefully sound deadening and putting everything back again, ready to then finish the wiring of the reversing camera, putting the new seats in. I've got to swap some of the seatbelt receivers around so that when I fit the seatbelt to this pillar here, you'll be able to pull the seatbelt over and it will go into the relevant buckle. So that's it. Yep. Time for a glass of wine.